All right, all right. How's everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. What's going on? I hope everyone's having a great week so far. My name is Hanny Mora from Repurpose.io, and I'm here with my very good friend, Steve Martile. And we're going to be talking about TikTok, this mysterious platform that everyone should be on, but not sure if they're supposed to be on at the same time. So I brought Steve over here to kind of chat, share his experiences, and kind of learn from him and from others as well. So
Cool.
how you doing, brother?
Awesome, man. How are you?
Oh, dude, I love that shirt. I saw your post earlier. I freaking love that shirt.
What's the bottom say?
I can't read it right now, but it says something like, I watched a video on it. I'm a trained professional. I watched it online. I love it. I love it. That's awesome, man. You made that shirt, or you found it? You got it made yourself?
A shirt. It's an amazing shirt. I think for anyone who's listening to this, and if they listen to it later, the recording, they should probably know, like, we've known each other a long time, man.
Very long time. What, at least
1996 is when we went to Queens?
96, yeah. We went to school together, studied engineering, and who knew that we would be here talking about content marketing like 20 plus years later.
And you doing like a software with video, you were doing video back then.
I know. I was always a video guy, geeked out on video. Now kind of put software and video together. It's crazy, man. Time flies. So we've known each other, I've known you for like more than half my life. So it's awesome that we're kind of going through this journey together and learning about just different platforms like TikTok. Everyone's talking TikTok, but nobody really knows if they're supposed to be on it or not. So I think somebody in our group asked for you for some kind of training, and you know, everyone's an expert at what they do, but I mean, here, like, the reality is, the thing I like about you is you're like, all right, I'm going to try this platform, and you go all in and you try it, and whatever results you get, you share. Like, you're not going to say like, oh, yeah, you should be doing this, and you're not actually doing what you say you're doing. So whatever we're talking about here is Steve sharing his experience. I tinkered with TikTok, 1-2 videos, and then, just like most people, I just said, I'm going to put that aside for now and not deal with it. But I think everyone here would love to hear what your experiences have been so far, and then kind of how you use it now, and how do you think things will shape up down the road.
Yeah, cool, man. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break this into 2 categories. I'm going to talk a little bit about strategic, and more like what I've been doing and what's working for me, so that anyone who's listening could take it and be like, okay, I'm going to try that. And then the second part I want to talk a little bit about is more about like how to think about social marketing and TikTok specifically, because I think that will be more valuable for people than just talking about like tactics or strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do we got? 30 minutes? Not even?
Yeah, I think we can get this done in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Probably less. Okay, cool. So I started on TikTok, I think mid last year. You should probably know is that when it comes to new platforms, I personally believe that you either have a sensitivity to it or not. Like, some people are just not going to watch this video for another 5 years. Like, we're recording this now, but they're going to be like in 5 years. And then by then it's going to be like Instagram, right? Where it's like, if you go on now, like, I have like 230 followers on Instagram, and I put out amazing content. And if you ask any of my followers, they will tell you that. But it doesn't circulate, and I don't get the reach that I probably could be getting because I got in way too late. Okay. That being said, normally I'm an early adopter for social platforms, and blogging is a good example. So I got blogging. My first blog was in 2007. I'm not sure when Garyvee got on. I want to say 2004 is when he started the wine library. So I was like 3 years after him. And then like 2008 is when I'm like, okay, I got to get a more official blog. I started a company blog. Steve Pavlina had been blogging and if you don't know who he is, at that time in 2005, he had 1 million visitors a month going to his blog. So he was one of the very early adopters, right? So I was on like shortly after. And then like within, I want to say a year and a half, whatever, I had like 10,000 people a month going to the blog, mostly like 80% organic traffic. And so I got that if you post content, you're patient, and you keep doing it. It's kind of like exercising or brushing your teeth. You're not expecting any result. you just do it. Like, you don't question it, and you do it.
Yeah.
That eventually can lead to some really, really good dividends. And I still get organic traffic on that blog to this day, about 5,000 people a month. And I haven't really updated it. So, and that was over 10 years ago when I started. So just at the beginning, I just want people to know is that some people are just highly sensitive to new platforms. Some people are not. And I have always acclimated to like, okay, what's the new thing? I want to get on it. And like, I want to be first. And the reason is because there's a lot of value on being somewhere first. And I'll give you a good example. So when I post something, I go on Instagram, I go on LinkedIn, and I go on TikTok. And it's usually the same content, but different formats, because video for TikTok. And what I've noticed is that when I post the content on TikTok, I can get 1,000 views pretty easily. And I can also get 6,000, 7,000 without like too much trouble if I really like put the effort in. Sometimes I just post content 3-4 times a day. I'll just post it and then see what happens, because I'm like, I don't know what these people want. Like, I can create anything they want, but I don't really know what they want. And then other times I'll be like, no, this is really, really sweet idea. I need to like really think about how I'm going to present it, and then I'll post it. So like 1,000 to like 6,000 views, no problem. Where my YouTube channel, if I post something now, 30 views in a week, like you don't get a lot. LinkedIn, I might get 1,000, 1,500. So all I'm saying is that there's a benefit to being first. Okay. If you want to be first, what happens is the organic reach is higher, meaning that if you post something and you're the first person to do it, and you're probably listening to us thinking, I want to post this, but I haven't seen anything, you know, like I want to post something on how to, like, I don't know, bake a cake, or, you know, something around diet or something, but I don't see anyone doing it on TikTok. Should I post? And my answer is 100% yes. Because when I started posting, like last summer, 6 months, 7, 8 months ago, no one was posting anything to do with LinkedIn. Now people are just starting to post. So what I'm saying is that you can be the person that starts it and starts that movement, and be the person behind the tag that starts a whole movement. Don't wait for someone else to take over the content and start posting there first. Go now. Another good example is your software, right, Hanny? So like, not a lot of people posting about that from last time I checked. It's always like people dancing, like all this stuff. So people, like, generally speaking, if you're a content creator, probably think, well, I want to post what's trending. You don't have to on TikTok. I never post with what's on trend. What's on trend is like duets and people dancing and like music videos. And I don't post any of that. I just sit there and talk. So what I'm saying is that to be able to get 6, 7, I have some videos of 12, 15,000 views without being mainstream, without appealing to what's trending now, that is unheard of. Yeah. So it really reminds me of the early blogging days where, you know, people were trying to get higher ranked for Google and it was easier to do. Today, you hear people talk about SEO, search engine optimization. It's like, good luck. You know how many more websites have been online in the last 10 years? So much harder now, unless you're super micro niche. So food for thought on like being first. Like if you're thinking about it, I say stop thinking about do it. Just go and do it. Post whatever you have. And then so the question is, well, what's the strategy behind it? So I'll give you some tactics. So the really simple thing up front is when I do a post, I come up with the headline. And the headline is the very first piece of text you see when the post that you put the video up. And I do it right in the app. So if you don't have the app, download it, and then just you can edit right on there. So you post a 56-second video from Handy software, you pop it out, and you're like, okay, headline, post a headline, 6, 7 keywords, like, you know, just pick something. And you don't know. You could pick 6, 7 keywords, pick another 6, 7 keywords with the exact same video, and one will take off and the other one won't. Okay? So that's important, what the title is, because that's what shows up in people's feed. Second, and then you can turn off that title. So it's basically, it's a function right in TikTok. It's basically like, you know, how to create Jello shooters. And it's like, you put it in the title and then you say, okay, I want it to appear for about 2 seconds and then I want it to go away. And then it's just the video. It's all built right in the app. So just that's what I do. Okay. Nice. That's number one. Number two is when you post your tags, just like Instagram, just like LinkedIn, just like Facebook, you post your tags, your hashtags, put in the For You page. because the For You page, so the For You page tags, there's a bunch of them. There's pound FWY, there's pound For You page, just spelt out, For You page. There's pound symbol, for page. There's a bunch of them. And anyways, you'll see it pop up. You start typing it in, it'll pop up. Put that in the post, embed it in the post when you before you post. Again, it's all part of the app. Because once you do, if people do like it and it starts to circulate, what will happen is it will start to show up in the For You page. And the For You page is the home page. It's a newsfeed page for everyone. You know, in the beginning, I was only getting Canadians because I'm Canadian. So it was like anytime someone would like come, I would look at my traffic, and the analytics are pretty good on the app. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's all Canadians. Now I get predominantly Americans, then UK, then Canadians, which is how my blog started. My blog started all Canadians, then it went like, and it just defaulted to like what the population is, right? You know, there's more Americans and more British than there's Canadians. So that's the way it's set up now. Keywords title number 1, number 2, the For You page, and then you can put in some other tags. There's no general rule of thumb, just put in a tag. You don't know how the hell. You could show up number 1 on that tag. And then, so for example, I had, I posted something on LinkedIn that said, I think a lot of people are asleep. That was the freaking title. It has nothing to do with LinkedIn. But what I did is I said, I think a lot of people are asleep. Then I put the logo of LinkedIn in the corner. And I put the hashtags in there, the For You page, all that stuff, right? And then I put in the LinkedIn tag, which is just pound LinkedIn. And I posted it. And, you know, for a week, it was kind of like I had 1,000, 1,200 views. And then all of a sudden, enough people shared it. And this is kind of the key thing, is that if you have content that's really shareable, it will get shared even more, which means more people will see it. And the only general rule of thumb is, if you want your content to be shared, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
So what I did is I said, I think a lot of people are asleep. And I said basically that there's so much organic reach on LinkedIn and so many people are still posting on Facebook like it's 2010 and it's 2020, it's 10 years later, and they're still trying to get their organic reach and they're trying to figure out the algorithm, all this bullshit. And I'm like, just go to LinkedIn, dude. It's right there. So that was basically the video. And what happened is in 1 week, I don't know how many, it just skyrocketed. I think I added like 600-700 followers.
Oh my God.
And it was because it was sitting in the number 1 spot for the LinkedIn tag.
Yeah.
So
actually, I'm going to interrupt you for a quick
that's
second. Andy's got a great question here. I'm going to just kind of post this up here. Can you put URLs? I know people like to link out from social media. People like to link out. I'm starting to discourage people from doing that. Because social platforms don't want you to link out. They want you to, they want their viewers to stay on their platform. So A, I guess, can you put a link? And B, do you know if you can put a link? And then B, do you recommend it? I guess I don't personally recommend it on any platform, but anymore.
So I don't know if you can. So Andy, good question. So what I do is, I'm going to answer your question in a minute. What I do is I have my company is named Freedom Education. So I have a little Freedom Education block that shows up at the bottom of the videos. And so that's quote unquote the brand, right? And if you look up Freedom Education, you could Google it and you'll see my blog, my website. And so that's what I do. Now, when it comes to URLs or links, it really depends what you want people to do, right? So when I did, and this talks a little bit more about the examples and how I used the TikTok to promote some other things. So I did a challenge, a 5-day LinkedIn challenge back in December. And when I promoted it, I had almost, I think, 1,000 followers on TikTok. So I did 2 things. I came out with a series of videos that were like content. You might want to join the challenge. There's a link in my bio sort of deal. It was just totally verbal. And I did that a few times. I did a live, because after you have 1,000 followers, you can do a live. I did a live, sent people to my bio. And in the bio, I just had the URL spelled out, so someone would have to copy it and paste it and that sort of thing. What I do now is, if you go to my TikTok account, to my bio, it's going to say, go to my Instagram, and you can just link your Instagram right to your TikTok. So it just opens the app, goes right into Instagram. And then on my Instagram bio are all the links, and it will drive people. But just as an example, half the people that registered for the challenge, I think it was only 100 people that registered for the challenge, but half of them, I don't know this number for sure, but a lot of people were on Facebook saying, I found you on TikTok. I found you on TikTok. I was like, holy shit. So about half the people were from TikTok. So, and just from, hey, I've got this thing coming out. You got to join the group if you want to join it. They had to go to a landing page and register. But anyways, all that was built in. And they went to my bio, and then they just took it and they went and they freaking registered. And the other thing, so that's one example of how I use TikTok. And like I said, it was successful for me. The second thing I did was I had sent people, and I haven't done this week yet. I was like thinking, oh, I got to do this. But I said, I did another sequence of videos, 3 or 4 videos, not a lot. And I just sent people to my bio again. I'm like, hey, if you want, more help on like building your business, I have a 90-day jumpstart program. Again, URL right in the bio. And the URL goes to a sales letter. In the sales letter, you can go book a call. And I had this guy book a call with me from the UK, a doctor. And we had a really great conversation. His business, it wasn't a client. It wasn't a good client for me. So we didn't end up doing business together. But our conversation was good. And number 2, he signed up. Like he went right to my calendar. He went through my process. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, these are legitimate people on TikTok. So again, like, yeah, there's a lot of 9, 10, 11-year-olds on there. Absolutely. But are there people that are like early adopters that are business owners? Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of it because of that. I was like, it was like a legitimate test. I had run this challenge, and then I had that one prospecting call, and I'm like, this is a legitimate platform. So anyways, that's like the strategy, and then we can get more into how I think about it, but that's the strategy behind it.
That's awesome. So basically, just to kind of summarize, your URL is, your call to action is verbal. So that's what you've been doing. You say it in your video, and the only link out is from the profile.
That's it.
Nice. And then Andy's got a follow-up question. What software do you use? So sometimes, do you shoot videos on your phone? Do you use Repurpose? Sometimes you use Repurpose to make the vertical videos. Yeah, that's it. It kind of depends on what.
That's it, man. I use handy software, and I freaking shoot it on my phone. I have an iPhone, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's awesome. Shoot it. You can do the edits in the app if you want, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, they have some basic editing tools, some good editing tools to add some, like that headline that you put on top of the video to catch people's attention for a few seconds. You can do that all within the TikTok app.
Yeah.
And Young's got another question about video length. What's the limit? And then also, do you know the limit off the top of your head, or what do you recommend?
60 seconds. Yeah. So it's like you can get 59 or whatever it is.
Okay.
There is no length, because if you think about what drives social sharing on that platform and every other one, by the way, is this shareable? So instead of like thinking about how long to make it, what I would encourage you to do is answer this question. I wrote this down for myself last week because I was like, I really started to hone in and be like, okay, what am I going to create for content? And I was like, I wrote down this question. What is something shareable that is so good someone would watch it and easily feel like sharing it? Come on, and whatever the answer is to that, that's how long it should be.
So it's got to be entertaining, informational, something that's like, man, this is good. I gotta share it with Steve, or I gotta like and share it.
I gotta share that. That's it, man. That's it. So
cool. Yeah. I think it's kind of like the wild west, like people call it. Like new platforms, a lot of, everyone's got their own thing that's working for them, but you don't know until you start putting content out there. I know I had a friend of mine, she posted a video on Facebook, and it was just her jumping. She jumped off like from high a cliff, and then she landed somewhere. And the first thing I thought, this is like 3-4 months, I'm like, listen, you should post it on TikTok. It's like good TikTok material, right? Yeah. And then she's like, what the heck is TikTok? And then like a few weeks later, she's like, yeah, I took your advice. I posted on TikTok. And it just blew up. Like, it got like thousands of views, and people start following her. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, is that good for business? I don't know. That was a crazy example.
I have no idea.
But his point is get your content out. You're doing it in a way where you're talking to your audience, right? You're talking to a particular audience, so you're attracting that right audience, right? So,
that's my audience, right? It's like if I'm jumping off a cliff, they're like, "Is he okay?"
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that do that, and there's ski videos, and I follow like snowboarding and ski videos, like because I love skiing, mountain skiing, right? And so I watch that stuff, and you see these guys that are like posting stuff, and they've got like, some of them have hundreds of thousands, some of them have millions of followers. Maybe they're gonna do like some sort of sponsorship where they like align with Razi or like a ski company, and then they're like, well, they'll promote it through their TikTok brand, right? And that could be a thing that you can make money doing that. All I'm saying is that just because people are posting stuff that hasn't been posted yet, it's like you said, it's like, think of Google before Google was as Google. You do a search and you're like, that's not what I was looking for. And that happens all the time because there's a lot of crap on TikTok and there's not enough people posting valuable stuff. So if you see silly things on TikTok that you're just like, I can't believe this went viral, it's because A, the audience on the platform is still a young audience, and B, the people posting the content are young. And as the platform matures, it's going to be just like Facebook. It's going to be just like Instagram. A more mature audience starts to come on it. Like, I remember hearing stories from Founder, like they had started in 2011, 2013 posting on Instagram, and they were like, people were saying, oh, there's no business to business market on Instagram. Yeah, there is. They were just one of the first, right? So again, if you want to be first, then get on the platform. In 2 years, 3 years, you don't know, 5 years from now, it could be exactly like Facebook, and it could actually take business away from Facebook just for the fact that, and no other platform does this, TikTok will let you copy a link to whatever video you create and share it on any other platform. No other platform, as far as I know, will let you do that.
So you can share your TikTok video to Facebook.
Think about that, right, Hanny? Like when we used to start the blogging, it's like if you can make something easily shareable, well, not only does the content take off, but the platform on the content takes off. So anyways,
good
yeah,
point.
cool.
So I wanted to kind of ask about hashtag. I know you were talking about hashtags. I know when I looked you up, you mentioned a while ago that you were doing really well with the LinkedIn hashtag. So I went in there just yesterday, I think, or whenever I scheduled this live post, I looked up LinkedIn and I followed that hashtag, and boom, there's 2 of your videos, and then there's Garyvee's video. And I'm just like,
I'm not Garyvee, and it's like,
you're not Garyvee,
right?
and you got, and but that's powerful. Like, how many? My first thoughts were like, how did you? Obviously, you kept posting content, you kept using that hashtag LinkedIn in all your content. But is there anything else you've done, or is it just the fact that you're just talking about LinkedIn and tagging LinkedIn, using the hashtag LinkedIn in all your content that you just?
You know what? I think there's and your community is very like techie community, right? Because they want to like buy software and stuff. And I gotta be really like, whoever's listening to this, and for you too, Hanny, it's like there's no technical trick to this.
Okay.
It's like literally what I said. It's literally like, is the video so good that you're like, oh my God, my friend needs to see this. I need to share it now. That's what you should be posting.
Don't worry about technical stuff.
Yeah, it's like put the tags in and then run with it. And then, you got to remember too. So let me go back a little bit. Now I only have like 1,600 followers right now. I haven't checked in a while. So that's a lie. I checked yesterday. So 1,600 followers. So what I will tell you is that it's all about momentum too, right? But like, let's go back to the beginning. First 20 videos I posted, I had one that took off. I got 6,000 views, and I'm like, why that one? Why that one?
Yeah.
You would have been, that was insanely like sitting there. I'm like, I'll never know. I'm like, people just liked it. So what I did is I just kept thinking, what's some really good advice that if I could give someone that could share it, that they would like want to share it with more people? And I always came back to that question. Now, I've been posting for about 3 months. I only had 71 or 91 followers. It wasn't until November of last year when I went from like 91 to like 900 within, I don't know, it was a short period of time, a few weeks.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, okay, I got it. Keep posting content, keep innovating, keep trying new things, post it a different way, take the same idea, post it 10 different ways, right? Like I just did one on LinkedIn. I know this has nothing to do with TikTok, but I'm going to start doing this on TikTok. So you were talking about the future, like what? So for me, I did a handwritten journal. I have a journal here, right? I'll just show you because So I have a journal. I wrote on a page, and all I did was I wrote down just kind of like something that I was just like, oh, I'm like, that's what I'm thinking of today. Okay, I think I did that on Sunday. I took a picture of it. I wrote a little introduction, and I said, do you agree or disagree? Within 24 hours, I had 1,000 views on LinkedIn. So I was like, okay, so maybe I should just do that on TikTok. Just like talk about this, post it up there, talk, because no one else is doing that, right? So it's like, how can you stand out? It's like, well, just come up with creative ways of sharing. And you're going to be fine is that you're going to share the same thing over and over again, but you're going to share it different ways, different angles, different content. I would love to get an artist on board. Like I just hired a content creator, but I want to get an artist, someone who can do comics, because I'm seeing Gary posting a lot of comics type stuff, like, you know, like old comics. But he's the character in it. And I was like,
I've seen those. Yeah, they're cool.
And I'm like, I think they're really, because no one else is doing that. Again, like, we're very few people, so it's like that's how he stands out, right? But I'm like, if I start doing hand sketches and you see them on LinkedIn or TikTok, you're gonna know why, because it's like that's what stands out. So again, it's not like there's no magic tech trick. It's just like post and keep posting and keep posting. And like I said, the first 20, I had that one. Then it took me another, I think, 100 videos before I had another one pop. Okay, so don't be discouraged. How many videos do I have now? I don't have no idea, but don't be discouraged. Just keep going. Just commit to yourself that you're going to do it 3 times a week, whatever it is, and just do it and stick to it. And then, you know, it's like compound interest, right? You keep putting that $300, $600 a month away, and all of a sudden it's 10 years later, you're like, holy shit.
I could retire. Yeah, exactly. No, it's you got to put in. You got to put in the time, the sweat equity. You got to put in, and it doesn't have to be complicated. That's the beauty of like short people with short attention spans. It's actually a good, it's actually a good thing from a content creator's perspective, because you can you just need to keep it short. Make your videos under a minute long. You know, obviously you got to plan it out. Don't want to just get on the camera and just start rambling for a minute. That may work once in a while, but share something value, make it interesting to watch, and keep it under a minute. And then there's a question about the size. I don't know what the technical requirements are, but I imagine it's all vertical video from what I
you know what, man? I actually do Square, because Square is easy for me to post on Instagram and LinkedIn all at the same time. So if I'm like posting just vertical, then I'm like restricted on where I can post. But if I do a Square and I'm like, oh, that video did really well, I'm going to post it on LinkedIn as well. It's Square. It's already ready to go. Done.
Perfect. Good point. Okay, so it doesn't work with Square. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And creativity is the name of the game. That's right, Young. It's on a fresh platform like this. There's no rules. It seems like you kind of it's almost like you're setting the trends by just the more different you are, the more out there you are, but still offering value in your content, the more attention you'll grab. And then I know you always say this. You're like test. You always drive me crazy when you say that. I'm like, how do you have so much time? But it's for you. It's like
it's my livelihood, right?
Yeah, like this is content is your livelihood. Like,
well, I just came from like, we had an hour planning meeting with a local client I'm working with, and this all just came together. I got the green light in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like, wow, we just did a content planning session for all of February and into March. So we already know what we're going to do to get into March for content. And I want to get to a point where like 6 months ahead, but you know, we're not there yet. So their business is like construction and HVAC and that sort of thing, and industrial, but we did a recruiting planning session. So it's just for recruitment, and that's content for that. If your topic is, you know what, like, I'm experimenting with so many different things as well. But I think the main thing is like, you have to sit there and be like, own that your value. That's really what you got to do. You got to be like, I'm valuable. And if you don't believe that you are, you won't post content. I know it because I've been in places where I'm like, I'm not posting content. Why? I feel insecure. I don't feel right. And so one of the things I do, and this is more on the mindset side and how I think about this, is like, you could easily just like become a parrot and say to yourself, I am valuable. I am valuable. And I am saying this, an honest truth is that if you did it for like 10 or 15 minutes straight, you just dedicated 10 minutes to just say that to yourself. At the end of that half hour, an hour out, there's a delay. you're going to feel so valuable. You're probably going to come up with your best content. But it's when you're not feeling good about yourself that you're not wanting to post. You got to really, you got to take charge of that, right?
That's brilliant. Yeah, I never thought about that. I've always said, okay, Tuesday is my content creation day. I'm going to sit down and do this. But I never thought about like the emotional side. Like when you create content, like the emotion comes out in the video, right? If you're excited and you're positive, you're confident in what you got to say. It just comes out naturally, and it just, you want to do more. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, what else?
What else can I create? Yeah, that was awesome. That was fun. Like you get that rush. Yeah, that's a great tip about just telling yourself that you're valuable. I mean, we all know it, but we all forget, right? Everyone has something inside them that they want to share that people want to hear.
Yeah. So honor that and just tell yourself that you're valuable. And use the words I am valuable. I am valuable. And it's going to be hard in the beginning because your voice is going to say you're not. It's going to say you're not. But there'll become a breaking point where you'll like really believe that you are, and it'll probably come to your best content pieces. You'll have more courage. You'll take more risk on yourself, because that's what this is really about. It's getting out in a platform where there's no rules, like you said, but all the opportunity, and you got to bet on yourself. And I find is that if you prime yourself that way before you do your videos, even if it's the day before, you'll notice a big improvement in how your presence shows up on camera.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Yeah, your personality, your confidence, everything, it does show up on camera, right? And people want to watch people who are confident and believe in what they say, right? They're not just sitting there like, oh yeah, so today we're going to talk about this. But just, you're not going to feel that energy. So yeah, with video, the energy does flow through. That's so true.
Awesome, Young. I don't know if I said your name right, but yeah, that's good. Glad you signed up.
Brilliant. It'll be fun. This will be fun. And then like with anybody using Repurpose right now, just if you don't have new content to create, just take stuff you already have and just make a workflow that takes videos from your Facebook, trim it down to a minute, 30 seconds, and then just send it out to your Dropbox, and then go ahead and just test it out. Like put content that you've already created. So if you haven't created new content, or don't feel like you have to create new content right away, use what you have, repurpose it, and then either square or vertical, and then get that content onto TikTok and see how it goes. Yeah,
and I'll add one more thing, and this is on kind of like the theme of being of service. So when I did another challenge in January as well. I didn't generate any direct revenue from the challenge. I need everyone to know that, because there's a lot of times where you're creating content just to create content and create value for people so that you know what you should be creating, really, and that's it. There's the only benefit is that you're happy and enjoy the process. Now, obviously, if you're teaching something you don't enjoy, then that's not good. But if you really just put your heart and soul into something that you really enjoy and you're of service to people, then yeah, you get these amazing 30-40 minute segments. So for example, and just so everyone's really clear, if you look at what Ellen Degeneres does, she does the exact same thing. She has a TV show. It just ends up being a real TV show. Well, a YouTube channel, boom, now you got your TV show, right? So you got your TV show. She brings guests on. She's always joking and doing crazy things and games. And then she takes 30-second segments and she posts them on Instagram. How is it any different? It's the same thing. What does Garyvee do? He's got a weekly Garyvee show. He puts together a show. He brings people. He interviews them. He takes all the snippets and he posts it socially. So with my local client, I was talking to the president, and we're like, maybe we should start bringing the camera into the meetings, the strategic meetings. I said, yeah, you should totally do that. And then we'll take that, and that becomes the content to promote socially. So it brings people behind the scenes. If you think about it, emotionally, people really love to have access to other people. And a celebrity is a great example. They want to have access to them. And Ellen does a great job of it because she's posting all this stuff even on TikTok, right? So if you really, really want to commit, like the initial level, yeah, just shoot some videos. That's fine. But if you really want to commit, then commit to a show, commit to interviewing people and bringing them on, or commit to some sort of weekly show. I do the lives where it's a Facebook Live 5 days a week during the challenge every night for 5 days. Well, I get 100 pieces of content just from that 1 week. and then I start shooting it out and testing and seeing what's converting and what's not and whatever. So as a content strategy, it's more about, okay, have the courage, prime yourself, get in the right state, and then go be of service, go be of service, go be of service, and continue doing it. And then the content will come. And then as it comes out, all of a sudden you'll start to see, you'll get followers, you'll get likes, you get people driving to your, all the strategic stuff now starts to make sense. But if you don't have the inner game, it all goes away.
That's so true. And don't be like me where I post one video and I'm like, no one watched it. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to do this again. So don't be like me. Be like Steve. No, I know that's totally wrong. But yeah, but people, I mean, it's normal, right? You post a video, you hear all these people getting all these 1,000 views, and it's like, I posted one and I got nothing. I'm like, what, am I ugly? Am I stupid? What did I do wrong? You know what I mean? But it's not about that, right? It's about putting content out, give content of value, putting content of value out and keep doing it consistently. I learned that from your LinkedIn challenge. Like on LinkedIn, I was like zero activity. I did your challenge, the one in January, and oh my God, I was like, hey, it forced me to think in a weird, different way, or like creating content specific to my audience. Yeah. And having a lot of fun. And then I was like, wow, like LinkedIn really gives you good organic reach. So yeah, I really enjoy that process. But as a side, like, yeah, I'm always inspired by you because you're always putting content out. And sometimes, like you said, it's the same content spun up a little bit differently, but there's nothing wrong with that. No. People haven't seen it the first time, or they haven't seen it on LinkedIn, they'll watch it on TikTok. So
yeah, or just if they didn't see it, that's one thing. If they did see it, you're reinforcing a theme about who you are, and that's okay too, right? Because you're gonna find is that, so I put up this shirt's a good example. I'm a trained professional. I watched a video online, right? And it's like I had some people unfollow me on Instagram because of that. Oh. And I was like, oh, it's so good, a marketing message, because it's repelling to people who don't have any life experience in their actual, what they're proclaiming to be an expert in, which is okay. You got to get experience, go do stuff and you'll get experience, right? But then there's the people that have a lot of experience, and this is very attractive and magnetic because it's like, yeah, I didn't just read one book and become an expert. I've been doing this for 30 years, and those end up being some of my clients, right? So I find it really powerful that when you find a meme, when I'm calling it a meme, it's not really a meme, but a theme that you can continue to repost and resend in different ways. That's powerful because it's magnetic to one following and then repel it to another one. And that's the whole point for me in marketing. That's
brilliant. And Yang saying, yeah, she's running a challenge next week, and Gospel saying she's running a challenge in February as well. So that's awesome.
Cool.
So awesome. Well, brother, thanks, man.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all the tips. Thanks for honestly just sharing your experience and taking the time to share your experience. I think it's inspiring because it's not like Garyvee is preaching about this thing and like, oh, I'm never gonna be like Garyvee. It's like, you know, we're all equal. We're all get in there. We get in the trenches. We create content ourselves. We don't have massive teams, and you know, we learn from each other. And so today we learned from you about TikTok, and I appreciate that.
Cool, man. Happy to do it anytime, brother.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we will talk to you later.